Hello, this is Brother Benson Media. Uh, we are here again today. It's on a Saturday. We are privileged to come and continue the discussion of what is really going on the issue of impeachment of the deputy president. We'll have a look at what really happened today and also what the people of Kenya are saying about the impeachment. Yeah, so the deputy president has so far that is he feels threatened, and for that reason he started assembling a list of serious lawyers to stand by as they wait for the impeachment to be, which the perception is actually going on. We're waiting to see what the parliament would do. Yeah, so apart from that, we'll also have a look at the participation which has been going on, the comments of the people, the feeling of the people. We'll also try look at the comments of some senior ODM members led by the governor of Migori, Dr. Uchilo Yako. The governor of Kisii was also there. We'll try look at what they were saying and their position about the ODM party. So before we continue, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome all our viewers, and I want to let you know that you should feel at home. Tunawapenda. Thank you, Brenda Obedi. Thank you, Gypsy Corner. Before I continue, allow me to welcome my panelist, co-panelist, to also say hi before we proceed.
Aba Makobura and to our viewers, we welcome you to the show. Kindly wait for the upcoming updates. Karibuni sana.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Megoda. First, I think we just go directly to the. First, let's talk about the issue of lawyers. The deputy president seems threatened, and I think he has seen that this issue is a serious thing, na ni kama naona ya kwamba sipojitayarisha mapema mambo yanaweza kuwa mabaya, and for that reason he's gone for the best lawyers in the country led by Muite, very senior lawyers. And if you heard the lawyers speak, they said that they have looked at all the accusations that were laid before the parliament and they have done a good analysis of it, and they are ready, very ready, to defend the deputy president. Mr. Miguda, okay, before I let you come in, allow me to also tell anyone who is willing to join the conversation. I've just shared a link at the comment section. We're expecting Barak. I think hopefully he might join as we'll be proceeding. Yeah, Miguda, you can go ahead. Just give us your opinion on the choice of the deputy president, the move of going to at least start preparing for what is coming for him.
Now, it has dawned on him that the impeachment motion was real. You know, previously he used to talk, he used to say many things that it is only Mr. President Ruto who can make the impeachment to sail through parliament. So if you have seen him assembling lawyers to defend his case, it means that he's no longer living in denial. He is now aware that his goose was cooked and ready to be served. So he's fighting back, assembling lawyers. That's an, uh, an example that he is fighting back indeed for the regime, against the regime, and he has gone for very good lawyers. You have seen them, people like Paul Mwite. So Rigiji means business now, because if at all it could be a thing of a joke, he could have not hired such expensive lawyers to counter the accusation from the members of parliament. So you have seen him going to parliament to defend himself. He's going to be represented by his lawyers, and he has that right to be heard, and he must be heard in silence in the National Assembly, and he has that right of representation whereby the so-called lawyers are going to represent him to defend the petition. They have two grounds which they say are solid grounds for their defense. They are saying they have cited that public participation, the timeline for public participation was not well framed, because people were told that tomorrow is public participation. Then there were no timeline given to the public to participate effectively. Number two, they are saying that they will not adverse before Speaker Wetangula and Gladys Boshole, because they have made their position earlier that Rigiji must go home. So I want to differ with the lawyers that they have two grounds for defense. These two grounds are not in the grounds for impeachment. They are outside the 11 grounds laid. So I think they have worked out their work. They are going to defend Rigathi Gachagua, but let them not bring the issue of public participation and the issue of Speaker Wetangula and Gladys Boshole. They should just focus on the 11 grounds and they counter them with the law and facts. With the Rigathi Gachagua will be there to represent facts by himself. And also, the lawyers should defend the case. They counter it with the 11 grounds for impeachment. I have a different opinion from the lawyers of Rigathi Gachagua or Rigathi Gachagua, because since this is a political process, we expect it to end at the Senate, because the Senate where the trial is going to take, the full trial is going to happen at the Senate. So Senate will impeach Rigathi Gachagua, and he will cease becoming the deputy president. Of course, he can move to court, but since it was a political process, Rigiji ought to have counter it with a political process. He ought not to use the legal process by going with the defense counsel into the National Assembly, then the defense counsel will proceed to court. What if the court stopped the defense counsel and agree that the impeachment was perfectly done and he goes on? Rigiji will be done politically. So because it's a political process by the opponent, let him also apply the political process. Let him resign. Then he can go and consolidate Mount Kenya, consolidate it, its base, then make some friends around. Then he can use that position to fight back the regime. But let him not fight political process with a legal process. Assembling lawyers, that is an indication that they are ready to battle it out legal process. I wanted it to be solved politically, because the opponents are dealing with him politically. The numbers in parliament, the numbers in the Senate, and the said allegations are purely politics. So let him not, I don't know how much he is prepared, but he could have not solved the political problem or the political equation with the legal process. He ought to have do it the other way around, but it's up to him to decide.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Uh, Barack, welcome to the show. I don't know whether you can hear me
Yes,
or
I
not.
can hear you.
Okay, very well. So, we started with the conversation of this issue of lawyers who have been prepared by the deputy president. And I was just asking Mr. Miguda to give us his opinion on why the deputy president has started actually preparing a list of very senior lawyers, very competent, uh, to start preparing for his defense. And then my question now to him was maybe why is it that the deputy president has gone this fast to prepare them in advance? And again, just your view on the legal mind that he's gone for.
Hello?
Yes, did you
Are
hear
you
me?
oh. Oh, hello, our viewers, and hello, my co-panelist, Mr. Miguda, and hi, Mark. Thank you so much for the invitation. I think the deputy president is has lost the political battle, so he's running to hide in the legal battle, because being that he was elected by the president, by alongside the president, he has a right to follow, to protect, or to fight for his job, like anybody else will do. We've seen governors being impeached; they run to court to try to seek justice, and majority of them have succeeded in getting justice from the judiciary. When they already lost the political battle. So it is okay for him to do that. And I think the earlier the better. He has started on early, which might be work for his advantage, because politically he has no chances, but maybe legally he might stand a chance. And him going for the likes of senior counsel Paul Muite and his colleagues, I think he has decided to go for the best. And having in mind that Paul Muite is the one who overturned Martin Wambora's impeachment when Martin Wambora was impeached. So he believes that with all the experience that Paul Muite has, he can really save his job. Yeah, so I believe he has gone for the best, and he has started preparing his legal team early enough, because the battle is on, and he has to work so hard to ensure that he stand a chance to secure his job. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak. Something that I also wanted you to give your opinion is the issue of public participation. You know, the constitution says that every constituency there should be a public constituency. I mean, public participation in at least all the constituencies, and that is when uh, it would be legal to say that public participation was conducted in the whole country, and the people of Kenya gave their view. In this situation, we are seeing an instance where not all constituencies conducted public participation. And again, remember, up to date, there are several constituencies who are lacking a representative, a member of parliament. In some constituency, the member of parliament died. There has never been another election in those constituencies for replacement of their members of parliament. And again, some of them were elected, I mean, appointed to the cabinet, the likes of Ugunja, member of parliament, Opia Wandai, who is now the energy minister, among others. How the citizens who are coming from these constituencies, how are they going to present their view, and who is going to represent them in the parliament? Because there's this group of people who are also saying that even if this impeachment goes through, on the ground that some people did not have a representative to represent them in the parliament, it might be nullified. So just I want to hear from you guys. Are you seeing, what is your take? Is public participation being conducted in the right manner? And from the comments of the people of Kenya, because most of them are saying that the president should go, the deputy president should go, the members of parliament should go. Just from where you sit, Mr. Miguda, what is your take? Tangu hii mambo ya public participation, what have you actually learned? And from the agitation that the young people and the people of Kenya are having, they're saying that they're tired with all these people. Kufa Dareva, Kufa Makanga. Where are we? What should we expect? Is it really doing what is supposed to do?
Makobura, to begin with your last question, then dive in the issue of public participation. On my personal point of view, you have seen that some members of parliament, like 4 of them, are missing in action in the register. So maybe the people have a right to be represented at National Assembly. How are they going to be represented, or are their views going to be heard by who? Because their representative is not there. I would just like to tell you that in a constituency, we have, other than members of parliament, there's even women rep. For instance, the issue of Ugunja. Ugunja is in Siaya County, and we have women rep for Siaya County. Women rep is not only women rep for Ugunja, or Arieda, or Alego Usonga, or Bondo. It is women rep for all the constituencies in Siaya County. And women rep is at the National Assembly. It's not in the Senate. So it means even the people of Ugunja do not have Opio and I to represent their views, but their women rep has already had their views at the National Assembly. So this issue of representation is not limited to members of parliament. Even women reps represent us at the National Assembly. Even if your member of parliament was not there, your senator will represent you at the Senate. So I think in terms of representation is not limited to a member of parliament. Also, women rep can represent you, because even women reps, they do debates. You have had people like Osodo Ben Suda debating people, so they have that time to debate. They form part of legislation. They form part of oversight. So in the case whereby Ugunja people do not have their MP in parliament, but Ugunja people have their women rep in parliament, so they can represent it at that level. That's my own personal opinion, not driving it from any citation or any constitutional, but it's a matter of representation. And I can quote that a women rep represent the entire county, and the people of Rugunja are from Siaya. So I think Ombaka will represent them because we don't have their MP. We can't do elections right away to get that MP. So they will be represented. The issue of public participation, I would just like to try to explain one thing. Public participation is not the process of impeachment. Public participation doesn't mean that if people say that Rigathi Gachagua should stay 90% and 5% they say that he should go, doesn't mean that now public participation is going to stop the process. The process will continue whether the public agrees or disagree with the process. Public participation was deliberately put in the constitution so that whenever any issue or legislation that attach the interest of the public must be made aware. They must know. They should not do it behind curtains. That they should not do it under secrecy. It should be made aware to the public. That is the meaning of public participation, whereby you are made aware. The people of Nairobi were made aware at Bomas. People of Kisumu were made aware at Tom Mboya Labour College, Garissa, Nyeri, wherever. So the public is aware that the impeachment motion, special motion for impeaching Rigiji, is in the National Assembly. So that is enough. So that one, it has reached the threshold of the Constitution of public participation. The public participated. The public had their views. The public said yes or no. But what the public said is not being used to impeach Rigiji. What is being used to impeach Rigiji is the numbers in the National Assembly. The third members of parliament, a third. It means 217 going forward. So it means 233. So they have 269, I think. So that is what they are using to impeach Rigiji with the similar grounds. The motion was not brought because of public participation. So the public participation is not a process of impeaching Rigiji. So Rigiji is going to be impeached laid on those grounds and that number. That number is enough to impeach him. So the public just being made aware that the deputy president is being impeached on this ground, on this ground. People are saying that public participation, maybe if people say that Rigiji should stay, he will stay. No. People, that is not what is going to be used in the parliament. Parliament are going to, those are just tables for legal defense that whenever Rigiji has proceeded to the court, arguing that there was no public participation, they will argue that we held public participation and it was aired in the mainstream media across the country. But there's no room that public participation, if people say that it should stay, now it's going to stay. We should distinct that public participation is just to hear from the members of the public and to make them aware that Rigiji is going to be impeached. There's nothing, the special motion with public participation, they do not relate in any way that because people said that Rigiji must stay, now the special motion is not going to go through because Rigiji have been defended by members of the public. That is wrong. They are distinct. So the reason why I was saying Barack have added something very vital to my point that me, I wanted Rigiji to follow political process because the opponents are using political process. But Barack has added a point that Rigiji has seen that he has lost the political process. Now he's going to seek the legal process, which is okay. But my worry is once the legal process is final at court and the court determines that indeed Rigiji should be impeached, Rigiji will not be seen anywhere close to any state office. That was my worry. But if at all he is prepared to defend his case and is sure that is going to win, let him follow the legal process. But as for me, I would advise him to follow political process. But of course, he has lost it, but he can make a comeback. That's the good part of it. He can make a comeback even in 2027 or 2032. But with the legal process, once he's done with court, it will be over for Rigiji.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. Mr. Barak, we want to hear your opinion on the same. What Miguda just talked about, the issue of participation. The people of Kenya are coming up with different proposals. Some are saying kufa dereva, kufa makanga. And then like it has gotten to a point where people are really talking about the problems that they are having, and they're trying all those people that they believe or they think are linked to the problem that they are facing. Wakenya wanasema wote waende. The conversation is changing, and maybe the issue of participation, we're not seeing it in all the constituencies. Can that also lead to a ground of this impeachment being rejected in the courts of law?
Thank you so much. I think the issue of public participation, Migud has really elaborated on the legal part of it. But me personally, I think, I don't know if you watched some public participation that was being aired live. To me, that was just comedy. You know, public participation in Kenya, people don't really understand what it entails. And this is just, I think people are just ignorant about what public participation should entail. And that is why You see what is happening. You saw what happened yesterday at Bomas. That was just pure comedy. There was nothing like public participation. So it is just being carried out as a formality to meet the constitutional threshold, but it is not being carried out to meet to meet any objective, just to meet that constitutional threshold. And even those people who are coming to participate in that public participation, do they even understand their role? Or you could see people being ferried with so many vehicles, matatus from all corners of the Nairobi to Bomas of Kenya. And you even saw what happened in Nyeri, people rioting and okay, they were burning some tiles and blocking the road. So to me, I don't think public participation is something that is really taken seriously in this country. It's just done to meet a consumer threshold, but it's without any objective. And the way as just Miguda said, it does not have any effect in the impeachment process, because the impeachment depends with the numbers of members of parliament, not what people said in public participation forum, or what people did where. It depends on the numbers of members of parliament. And members of parliament, they represent the people. That's why, there is, I don't know if this chapter 1 article, what the constitution say, that the supremacy of the constitution, the people, and we exercise that authority, the authority through our representation. So once we have a member of parliament, we elect members of parliament to go to parliament to represent our views. So whatever they do, they're not doing as them, they are doing as us. So once it's passed in the National Assembly, that the people of Kenya have decided to do that. So I think that whatever happened in public participation was just comedy and playing to the gallery. But what matters is what will happen at the National Assembly. How many members of the National Assembly will support the motion, and how many members of National Assembly are going to oppose the motion. That is what matters, and that is what will title the numbers towards or against the impeachment. And there is a day that this guy called Reverend Jesse Jackson came to this country when Kenyans elected Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto to govern this country. It was in their first term. And Jesse Jackson was asked about the relationship of the United States and Kenya, now that Kenya is being led by ICC inductees. And Reverend Jesse Jackson told that journalist that, choices has consequences. Once you make a choice, you must be ready to deal with the consequences of those choices. And this country, I think we need to get serious, because we make political choices, but now we are very much afraid to deal with the consequences. And that is the problem that we're having. We cannot be, we are electing people this year, 2 years, even barely 2 years down the line, we have changed our minds about them, and we want them out of office as soon as yesterday. And before, and when campaigns were here, people were warned, people were told, and people said, we will wake up very early to vote for these people that you are telling us to vote for. So it was an act of defiance. So when you make up your choices as an act of defiance, then after barely 2 years down the line, you are going back and you are starting to cry again and saying that kufa dereva, kufa makanga. We cannot be taking our choices so casually. And people don't understand the power of the ballot. The power of the ballot is very, very, very serious, that it determines how your life is going to be governed, not only for 5 years, but the effects of that 5 years can be even for more than 20 years. Because even the challenge that we are facing in this country right now, some of the problems are not for this regime. They are brought upon us by the previous regime, because the choices that people make, they affect our lives today and the generation to come. Therefore, people should stop playing around with their choices when they go to the ballot. And this is the biggest calamity we have in this country. When people say that kufa dereva, kufa makanga, they don't understand. Do you know that the driver has the capacity to end the life of the makanga and the passengers in the vehicle? So before you give someone authority to drive your car, do you understand that while he's driving that car, he has the capacity to finish you off? So we must get serious as a society, as peoples of citizens of this country. We must take our decisions very seriously. When we go to the ballot, we must make decisions that we are able to face the consequences and live with them. But we cannot run away from the consequences of the choices that we made yesterday. I don't agree with that. Once you make your choices, you must be able to face the consequences of those choices for the time that you made. Because once you go to elect someone, you know that you'll be with that person for 5 years. There is no shortcut. And you cannot come and start now meandering around after 2 years and you want him out. And you knew that I'm committing myself to this person for 5 years. You even see these players who are given contracts, even managers, even there are some organizations that when you sign a contract of a certain maybe a certain period, you are committing yourself, your life, your time for that in that organization for that period. So if you want to terminate that contract, it means that you are going against your commitment. There must be some consequences, and it cannot be, there's no other way around. So you must be ready to face the consequences of your commitment. So people who voted for this regime must be ready to face the consequences of their choices for the next 5 years. I think that now we are left with 3 years. These 3 years are going to be very long for us, and we must deal with the consequences of their choices for the next 3 years. Come 2027, when we go to the ballot again, we must go to the ballot with at least with some lessons learned from the mistakes that people did in the previous election. I rest my case.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Barak. I can see at the comment section, Eric has just is active at the comment section, and I can see watu wanaomba ingie kwa akwe one of the panelists. Eric, if maybe you're available, you can also join. You also give your comments. You're highly welcomed because I can see some question here that people are asking on what you've just written. This is Brother Benson Media. Here we say your opinion counts. If you're new to this channel, kindly like and subscribe. Hapa tunajadili mambo yanayotuhusu sisi kama Wakenya. And I also want to take this opportunity to invite anyone who maybe feels that they can also contribute. You can join. I'm just sharing a link via the comment section. Just click the link, it will direct you to the studio. Wewe pia ukuje utupee maoni yako on what you think about the impeachment of the deputy president. My panelists, something that I also want to hear, I want you guys to give your opinion on is from this public participation. I think this is the first time we are seeing a very active group of Kenyans giving their opinions without taking political sides. Because if you see even those who are in Mount Kenya, some of them are saying the deputy president should be impeached. If you go to Rift Valley, some of them are saying the deputy president should not be impeached. If you go to Lowland, the people there are saying they should all go, the president and the deputy. Like, people are having different opinion. They are not actually making these decisions or opinion based on their political background or political area. What does this really mean to our country? Are we seeing a generation or a group of citizens who have decided that they are no longer going to be uh, swayed politically just because they're coming from a specific region? Are we going to see a translation of this thinking come 2027 general election? Are we going to see a group of Kenyans voting not just because the person who is going for presidency is from their region? Because that is the conversation that we are seeing with this participation. People are having different opinion, and everyone is like, okay, everyone accept the fact that kila mtu ako na opinion yake. Are we going to see this? Is it going to go up to 2027? And should it go, I think it is going to change our political thinking and everything. So maybe on that perspective, I want you guys to at least give your opinion. And again, something that I also want you to give your opinion on is with the Gen Zs. You know, if you watch the participation, that which Barack is saying looked like a drama. You know, even before the demonstration started, the youths were speaking the same way, and there's some of them who actually they feel energized when they see their fellow youths behaving and talking in that manner, and that can even make them get out of the streets. Will they maintain this momentum till 2027? That is my question to you, Mr. Miguda and Barak. I think Miguda, you'll go first.
Yeah, you have asked 4 questions. I don't know how I'll manage, but I'll see. So the first one, I would like to tell our viewers that the issue of public participation. People think that public participation is like Article 1, that the people shall. Public participation even is not in the article of the Constitution. If you look at Article 10, talk about national values and principles of governance. So under national values and principles of governance, we find things like public participation, representation, equity, equality, democracy, social justice, etc. So it's just maybe sub-article. It's not even an article in the Constitution. So public participation, the way I've told you, is just you make the members of the public to be aware of legislation that you want to make, or if you want to make oversight, you made them to be aware so that they can air their views. But whether their views are the majority or minority, it has no effect to the motion. And if you look at Article 1, things of Article 2, say that the people shall, so the sovereign power is with the people. But the same sovereign power which is with the people, it is delegated to their democratically elected representatives. So it means once we have our democratically elected representatives in the National Assembly, that sovereign power of Article 1 of the people, we have donated them to the members of parliament. So they have it. That's why at public participation, we air our views as members of the public, but the backstop with the members of parliament who are going to debate over the bill, because already he has that power from the people to debate in that house. We can't go into National Assembly, all of us, because we are too many. It can't accommodate all of us. That's why we elect one of us to represent us there. So we are going to give him that power, that sovereign power of Article 1, so that he can delegate, we delegate to him so that he can oversight on our behalf, because they're going to do what we call oversightation to the executive. So that one must be very clear. So the issue of public participation it is not an article in the Constitution. It is more of a sub-article, or maybe a paragraph, or A or B or C. So you must understand that one very well. Then the members of parliament have that delegated power, the Article 1 power, the sovereign power. So it is them to deal with the motion perpendicularly at National Assembly. The issue of 2027, 2027, I don't think we can go with the same thinking. I don't think there is going to be much change because already we are being organized along our tribes. Today I've heard the deputy party leader for ODM, Simbarati, was addressing residents at Migori. He was saying that the initiation of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua is by the members of parliament. But we as ODM, we are supporting them. Let Gachagua go home. It means now the UDA are merging with ODM for 2027. So it means, you see, we are still merging based on the political parties, based on the tribe. So even if there is public participation, whether Rigiji is impeached, it does not change the culture of our politics. People are telling Rigiji, bolt out and join Kalonzo. They are viewing Kalonzo as a Kamba leader. So you see, either of the sides, people are still playing tribal politics, party politics. That Rigiji resign and form your own party. So whether people have participated in this one, whether Rigiji is impeached, it has not transformed our politics as a country because the current leaders are warming up for the next election based on their parties, affiliations, based on their tribes. So it hasn't changed anything. Going forward 27, there is no much change with our politics. The issue of Gen Z, I told you, even you are part of the Gen Z, and you are aware that there's a puncher. The vehicle has a puncher. The synergy, the energy is not there the way it used to be. And the political class have managed to maintain us. Because you have seen the way people have been divided. Even Gen Z themselves are divided. First, we say that we are leaderless, but any emerging leader we perceive to be working for the state or the state agent. So people like Kasmen Makoure, they were saying contrary to the position of the Gen Z. The position of the Gen Z was that if you go to public participation, shout out, impeach both. Marara was shouting, impeach both. Kasmuel was shouting, impeach Gachagua. So even among Gen Zs, the state has managed to divide them because there were those pro Marara and pro Kasmuel. Leave alone those two guys. Gen Zs, there are a lot of interest that has come in. Even Gachagua is being accused of sponsoring the last demonstration of Gen Z. So there were goons who hijacked the demonstration. Political class also saw interest. The ODM saw an opportunity and they formed broad-based government. There was so much interest. Even those people want to they want to come from scratch to become political leaders. They saw an opportunity to use Gen Zs. Even there were sometimes we were hosting people like Jimmy Wanjigi at X-Space. We were hosting people like, you know them, those billionaires guys in town. They wanted to take advantage of Gen Zs to ride on that narrative. So there was so much interest in the movement and so much betrayal in the city to an extent that Gen Z has gotten a puncture. And the synergy, the energy is no longer there. So going forward, I've seen Gen Zs are also aligning themselves along the political parties and along their tribe. Look at Kasmuel. He was aligning himself along the ODM guys. It means if today the ODM guys told Kasmuel, we are going to give the nomination for a certain MCA, Kasmuel will accept the offer. So they have managed to infiltrate the Gen Z movement. That one I can tell you for sure. Because even when we are meeting, when we are talking amongst ourselves, that morale is no longer there. So I think going forward, we are going back to the same political circle as a country. There is no much change that we have. There's no much lessons we have learned. I just want to borrow one thing from Barack. The consequences of our vote is what we are facing. Therefore, if you have an opportunity at the ballot to elect a leader, kindly do the right thing. Do not give us a bad leader, then you are coming to cry for us. You want us to assist you to remove a bad leader, and we had an opportunity. For example, let us just be honest. The issue of William Ruto. Who gave us William Ruto at the first place? Who gave us Rigiji? Rigiji gave us William Ruto. Rigiji had an opportunity to support. There were many candidates. There was Gachagua. There was that guy who was pastor. There was even Raila, even though they don't like Raila. There was even Raila. So what was so urgent and important about William Ruto that they must give us William Ruto? So this culture must stop in this country. You are giving us a leader, then after 2 years or 1 year, you want us to assist you to remove that leader. If you have an opportunity to vote for a leader as a Kenyan citizen, kindly do not mind your tribe, do not mind your party, do not mind what your elders are telling you about a leader, do not mind what your mother is telling you, your father is telling you, or what the committee have decided. Vote with your brain. Do not vote based on hatred. Just vote for the right person so that we can't get into these problems in the near future. That's my take.
Very well. Ayaga is also saying that they thought Rigije will resign before Sunday, only to learn that he's preparing for a fight. Must of Central MP fear taking a vote. They knew he would resign. So it's a long, busy week. Okay, that is his thought. Mr. Barak, I don't know whether you still remember the questions posted to you, or should I?
Yeah, you can come again if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. So you've been following the participation, and from the participation, you've seen that a group of Kenyans are not really happy with what is going on, the running of the government, and everything. And the question that has been brought before the people of Kenya is that uh, they are being asked, should we continue to impeach the deputy president? Kindly give us your view. And most of them are actually not talking about that. They're trying to look at the root cause. And they're saying the president and the deputy should go. And they're also saying that the members of parliament should also go. In short, they have realized that it is not the deputy who is just, the problem, but the problem, there's a root cause. There's a group of people that they feel are a problem. And for that reason, normally you'd expect that someone from Mount Kenya would say that the deputy president should not be impeached. But we are seeing some of them saying he should be impeached. If you go to Rift Valley, you'd expect them to say that the deputy president should be impeached. And some of them are saying no. If you go to Lowland, it has also changed. Like the people are not giving their opinion based on their political background and everything. So my question is, are we going to see a possibility where the people of Kenya are going to make a decision come 2022 without being influenced by their political background, by their region? And then we're also going to see a possibility where uh, the young people or the people of Kenya are going to continue the momentum of reminding the government, not looking at where they're coming from, not looking at their region, so that they can help the government or the people in power make the right decision. Yes.
Thank you so much. If you ask me, I think the problem of this country is ignorance. Political ignorance is what is ailing us. And majority of the citizens are not having their priorities right. For example, right now, if you look at the political landscape of the country, and the Gashagua's job is threatened, and you find that people are up in arms to protect Gachagua's job. And if you who just few weeks ago, if you look at when our children were going back to school, the teachers were on strike. People said this none of their business. A few days, the lecturers went on strike. And if you look at when the first years were reporting in the universities, there was a lot of problems because people are not able to afford the fees for the new funding model, which are fundamental issues that are affecting majority of the people of in this country. When we reached on October 1st, there was a migration from NHIF to SHA, and no many people don't even understand what SHA is now. And to many people, that was none of their business. We saw patients with dialysis problems being turned away or being told to pay. People did not raise their voices, but because Gashagua's job is at stake now, people are coming up with people are coming up fighting for either Gachagua or fighting for Ruto and when they say impeach both, they are not saying impeach both. They are saying these people should stay together until 2027. That's what they are saying in other language. When someone is talking, sometimes in communication skill you listen to what someone is not saying because some people speak by not saying what they want. They just say what they don't want, so that it is now upon you to interpret what they want. When these people say that they should go to both home, what they mean is these people should just stay together until 2027. That's what they mean, and it's unfortunate. And I really sympathize with people with my countrymen, because for me, if you ask me, I think has just opened an opportunity for this government to come down, but people are just helping him to remain to remain powerful until 2027. Because by removing Gachagua from his government, I believe it's going to bring a lot of storm in Kenya Kwanza government. But you people are helping him to stay together with Gachagua, so that they can continue misappropriating the resources of this country until 2027. But with the absence of Gachagua, things could have been different. And once a vehicle is going and two tires are removed, the possibility of this vehicle not reaching its destination is very high. But people don't want these two tires to be removed. They just want them to stay together so that they can continue until the end of the which is 2027, which is okay. As I said, that these are choices that people made, and the consequences was from 2022 to 2027. So we should prepare for that. In terms of Gen Zs, and I don't know, you mentioned that people will go to election with a different narrative. I can assure you, they will not. If you understand the politics of this country, Kenya is still a young democracy. It's really struggling to understand even democratic values. And I usually have a problem with the dictatorship of the majority. When you see someone she is having a different opinion with yours, then you label that person as an enemy. That is not democracy. Allow people to express themselves, allow people to support whoever they want. It is enshrined in the constitution. I don't know what people understand by freedom of expression, freedom of association, and freedom of speech. It means that anybody, even if that person supports your enemy, it doesn't mean that now that person is a fool or that person is your enemy. It means that they are just exercising their democratic right. And it is wrong for even Gen Z or whoever group that it is, that once you have someone within your circle and that person differs with your opinion, and then you label that person as an enemy, that is not building our democracy. That means that we just continue with the status quo, where when someone differs with us, is either we kick him out and label him as an enemy, and you find that if we have the state machineries, we will eliminate the person. That's what has been happening in this country for many years. That is not how democracy is built. And even the Gen Z movement is just evolving itself to a dictatorship of the majority. Because if you see how they are treating people who are differing with them, that is not democracy. As a Democrat, I believe we should protect the right of every individual to express themselves, even if they are our worst enemy. They must be given a right to express themselves. That is why even Rigiji even though he hold a different political opinion where he just focus on a certain area. But because we are Democrats, we should be given an opportunity to defend himself to the last phase of the impeachment. He should not be denied that, because that's a fundamental right, and that is what happens in every democratic society. Therefore, we should not turn our movement or ourselves into a dictatorship of the majority. And that is what happened in this country. See, I think even if you remember the issue of tyranny of numbers, when people started boasting because they have numbers, they can do anything they want, they can pass any law that they can because they have numbers. We're having numbers minus wisdom. It's a disaster in itself, because you will be making decisions without even knowing that you are digging your own grave. Look at people who say that they will wake up very early and go and vote. Those are the same people right now who are crying, they are wailing more than the bereaved, because you can be having numbers, and at the same time you are not using those numbers to your own advantage. You are using those numbers even to bring calamity upon yourself. Therefore, as I conclude, let us protect the right of people to express themselves, and expecting that this country people will start reasoning minus where they come from. I think that is too early for us as a country, because we still see that politics is local. And you can even see right now, even if you watched the clips that are circulating on social media, you will see that if people are talking, they are defending the impeachment or they are against the impeachment, depending where they come from. You even saw at Bomas yesterday, majority of members of parliament who are there were ODM members. And if you heard those voices that were at Bomas, people were speaking depending with which constituency in Nairobi where they come from. So nothing has changed, and that's why you saw when Samuel Kasmuel came. He was given he spoke, he played to the gallery to please the audience that was there. And when Marara came and did not understand the kind of audience that was there, they handled him according to who they represent. So these issues, people have not evolved and people have not matured enough to start now reasoning minus their local political landscape. Therefore, I don't think Kenya is at that state, come 2027, to vote minus their local communities or their local political landscape. We are still very young democracy, and we are learning as we progress slowly. But we are very far from voting within our minus our local political landscape. That's my take.
Okay, thank you, Barack. Eric just joined when I was almost giving him time to give his comment. He's just left again. Eric, can you kindly try coming back? I wanted to let you also give your opinion on this. I know you have a problem with the network, but maybe I'll give you a priority. You give your thoughts before Uttarok. Okay, yeah, Mr. My panelist, something else that is coming up is the issue of resigning. There is a group of people led by the legal people in the legal profession. Some of them are saying that Gachagua would be safe if he resigns so that the constitution does not lock him out for coming for any political seat. Because it's being said that if the parliament manages to, or if they manage to impeach him, then politically he would not be allowed to hold any political or leadership position in Kenya. What is your take? Should hii kitu ikienda mpaka kona, would you advise Gachagua to resign before the impeachment? Ama you tell him to simply wait for the outcome of this whole process, Mr. Miguda?
Gachagua is going to a war which he has already lost. So, fighting someone who is above you, someone who has all the machines to fight against you. Sometimes you just put all your arsenals out. So Gachagua is just trying, the issue of legal team has come today. Today is on Saturday, and the impeachment motion hearing will be on Tuesday. They might not even appear on Tuesday. Maybe those are just some of the things they're trying to push to put pressure to the National Assembly that as you prepare for the impeachment motion, we are coming with our legal team. And look at the lawyers we have, people like Mwite. They have overturned the will of the people of they save Governor Wambua. So we are coming for you. We are ready for you. So it might be some pressure you're putting to the National Assembly. You never know. By Monday, he might resign, or by Tuesday early morning before the motion is tabled into the House for hearing. He might resign. So in a war, you try, you put all your effort, you try by all means. But this war, we just lost it. This is why I was for the opinion that he ought to have resigned. I was looking at it in this perspective. What if he resigns, then he make a comeback? I don't know why our politicians are greedy or they're selfish about. You can make a comeback. Makubura, a comeback is possible. Many people have made comeback. You don't need to be elected. Uru was never elected in 2002, but he make a comeback after 10 years, 2013. People do make comebacks. Kibaki make a comeback in 2002. So you can make a comeback. You don't need to fight for the next election. You can resign, go and consolidate your base, look for friends, then make a comeback. But I also want to look at it into a different angle. What if Rigiji has decided that, because you never know the outcome of the impeachment, you don't know the mind of the people pushing this impeachment, because he has been accused of most of the allegations are basically crime. They are crimes. They are crime cases. They are criminal cases. So the end game of criminal cases might be is going to be convicted. What if he just been informed prior by the intelligence that the end game is conviction? And say, oh, if it's conviction, I don't need to resign, because either way, if I resign, they will follow me. If I go through the court process, they will follow me. So let me just die with whatever I have. Let me use all my tools for this war. Let me face them head on at National Assembly, and at the Senate, and finally at the court. So even if there is that room for conviction, already have even courts, maybe so courts might give me some relief, even from the conviction, other than resigning. Then they will still follow me back, because even he was accused of committing international crimes. They are about economical international crime. He was accused of such accusation. So maybe because Rigiji is also having a very good lawyers at disposal, they might not mislead him. They might advise him, let us follow this legal process. Since these people, they are planning for you bad things. Hawa watu wanakupangia. They want to get rid of you once and for all. So let us just go through legal process. Court might reinstate some of our submissions to an extent that you can, even if you don't make a comeback, because even if you resign, they'll make sure that they follow you until you don't make a comeback. So even if you are going home, you will be home peacefully without anybody. So let us follow the rule of the law so that you can go home peacefully. Maybe there's a lot of interest in this case, Makubura. You have heard even the people who signed, who appended their signatures. Some were withdrawing their signatures from Mount Kenya. So you don't know what can happen between today and Monday. Many things can happen behind the curtains. People are being mobilized. There are many meetings going on at night right now. People are meeting. So let us just wait. But once the motion will be tabled on Tuesday in the National Assembly, and Rigiji has not rendered his signatures, then maybe they understand the script. Me, I'll just wait for that come after the court. But I can just speak from where, if you could have resigned. But if he's not going to resign, then let us wait and see. Because this first is happening first in the country. It's going to be one of the precedent we have never waited in this country. So we are also eager to understand and learn how the process will take effect. I think that's my take.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. Before Mr. Barak comes in, allow me to remind our viewers that this is Brother Benson Media BBM, and here we say your opinion counts. I'm also taking this opportunity to welcome all our viewers on those at the comment section. We really appreciate the fact that you are keeping us engaged. Those at the viewing section, tunashukuru sana. Thank you so much. And if you're new here, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. We will really appreciate. And I also want to remind our viewers that if you have anything that you'd want to share with us, kindly reach us. You can share with us via the comment section, or we have an email address at the YouTube. Kindly send us a message and we'll really get back to you. If you want to maybe join the panelist, you can always join. We do share the link. It is there at the comment section. Just click the link and it will direct you to the show. Mr. Barak, what is your take? Would you advise the deputy to resign or wait for the impeachment process?
Well, I think people might wonder why he's not resigning. In Kenya or in this part of the world that you call third world countries, you know, state power or political power is used as means to acquire wealth and opportunities. Therefore, people who have access to political power, people who have access to state power, once they use that power to acquire wealth and accumulate resources, they don't want to lose that power. Because once you lose that power, the state will remove that state protection. Because the state normally protects their own. They protect those who acquire power through state power, those who acquire resources through state power. And if you look at the past, what has happened in the past, you look at people who are very close to the state, they really acquired a lot of wealth, they accumulated a lot of wealth using state power. And once they went against the state removed that state protection, and their empires came down crumbling. And you know what happened to such people. And that is why you remember Deputy President of William Ruto, when he was deputizing Uhuru Kenyatta, people were asking, why can't you just resign? Because it is obvious that you people are not seeing eye to eye with each other. Ruto refused to resign until 2022 election, and luckily he became the president. It is not easy for someone for stage of the deputy president to resign, because once these people get into office, they use that state power to accumulate wealth. And once you accumulate wealth using state power, you will always be in need of state protection, because once that protection is removed, you will not be able to remain with that status, with the resources that you acquire using state power. And that is why this Rigiji can fight to the last second, because he understands the magnitude of losing state power. You remember when he was just a member of parliament and he fell out with his former boss, the Uhuru Kenyatta. You remember how the state machineries went after him, and you know the story, what happened. Now that he was elevated now to become the deputy president, and you were even hearing among the charges that he has acquired wealth using state power, wealth that he cannot account for. And once he loses state protection, because once as long as he's still the deputy president, the state cannot go as after him, because he's still the deputy president legally in office. But once if he resigns, he loses that protection. And now the state machineries we can go after him, because he will no longer be the deputy president. So he is willing to use all avenues that are available at his disposal to fight this battle, hoping that he will not lose state protection. Because the seat is not even more important to him. What important to him is the state protection that he's getting as long as he's still the legally deputy president of this country. So that is the main reason why I am not seeing him resigning, and I'm seeing him fighting, because he knows that the judicial system is open for him. Once he, even if he's impeached in the Senate, he will run to the judiciary. Once you start at the high court level, you lose, you go to the court of appeal, you lose, you go up to the Supreme Court. That is not a process that is going to take 14 days. It's going to take a lot of time, and I believe even before that process is over, it will be past 2027. So he knows that avenue, and that's what he wants to pursue. The main objective here is not to lose state power, and that's why you see even this most senior politician, they usually want to be very close to the state because of what they have acquired while in office using state power. That's why you'll find them wanting to dine very close to the to state, or to who is who at the state level. Because once you are in good books with people who handle or who manage the state resources, you get that protection. And that's why you will see someone like Jimmy Wanjigi. You will ask yourself, why is it that police are after him? There are reasons behind that, because these are people who acquired resources using state power, and right now, because they are not in good books with the state machineries will go after him. You look at someone like Sonko, when Sonko was the high and mighty in Nairobi. You remember in 2017, after Uhuru won election, and this Anthony Oluoch of Kibra, and the late Okoth of Anthony Oluoch of Madare, and the late Okoth of Kibra, and another man of parliament, they were issuing a press conference at Pan Africa Hotel. And you remember how Sonko sent his goons, and Anthony Oluoch was beaten up in Pan Africa Hotel, and Sakaja was the one who came for his rescue when Sakaja was now elected as a Senate of Nairobi. Sonko was very powerful in this city, but once he was impeached and he lost state protection, you can see how Sonko has now become like a normal citizen. So therefore, state protection is very important to this politician, especially this senior politician who acquire wealth using state resources, state power. They will need this state power until they die. So they will never wish to lose that state power. That's why they will hold on to this position. They will make themselves relevant. They will be very close to to state power, to those who are controlling state machinery, so that state protection is not removed from them. That's why I don't see Gachagua resigning. I cannot even advise him to resign, because I know he will not, because of because he needs state protection to continue protecting his wealth that is acquired using state power. That's my take.
Okay, thank you. Eric is saying at the comment section that resignation was a card and Rigiji has refused to play all this game will at Supreme Court. He's also saying that Jaramogi made the biggest mistake by resigning. Rigiji will not go that route. Resignation was a card used to lure MPs to sign impeachment motion. If these things were happening in United States of America, not just United States of America, but in these developed countries where democracy is respected, you'd seen the deputy president resign, actually immediately after all the accusations. And my question to you is, Kenyans do talk about democracy, and we also feel that we are one of the most democratic country in Africa. Sometimes back the young people went for demonstration, And while at the demonstration, the world learned that there is, in quote, democracy, especially the African countries. They were really surprised what was happening in Kenya. And most of them said, oh, that's nice. That country has democracy. Like members of the public can go to the street and they can tell the president to recall the cabinet secretaries. The president would do that. You know, why is it that as much as we pretend or we try showing to the other countries that we are a democratic country, and that in such instances when the people of Kenya have uh, a negativity towards you as a leader, why are we not seeing these people resign? What is it that is so wrong with the African? Why is it that it is so wrong? Why do they find it too tough to resign? You know, the only person that I've ever resigned without so many issues, I think, was Jaramogi. He resigned. Raila Amolo resigned while he was a member of parliament at Langata when he had problems with Moi. We've Igade, the deputy governor, at some point he resigned. You know, why are we not having that peace? Why are we not having that kind of thinking that when we are in a elected position and that the people who elected you do not really feel that you're now fit? Why do we find it so hard, Mr. Migoda? Kwani sisi tuko na kichwa gani? Like, why are we
No,
really looking? Because it really, I don't understand the fact that the people elected you, they believed in you, then along the way they feel like you are no longer fit there, they want you out. Why is it that it is so tough for you now to get out, and it is these people who got you there?
Makobura, there's nothing wrong with us. We have very good brains. We are very smart as a country, and the democracy you are talking about is what we are lacking. Actually, we don't have democracy. The question you are asking us, we do not have it. The people who are seeing us on the internet, that we are one of the countries in Africa who practice democracy, that was a wrong perception, because even in our own political parties, there is no democracy. Our political parties is the party leaders who determine who to be the MP. In fact, it's the party leader who determine who to represent you. For example, you are coming from Embakasi East. It is the party leader who decide who become your MP. So there's no democracy from our own political parties. So you can't purport to have democracy across the Africa, and we don't even practice it in our political parties. Even in UDA, even the previous political party, people do not go through primaries in accordance with the provision of the Political Parties Act. So we don't have democracy. The only thing we have, which I know, and I can say without certainty, is that we have a very good constitution, a progressive constitution. But the problem is, we do not have a proper leader to implement it, or rather, proper leaders to implement it. That's what we are lacking. But we are good to go with the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So to answer your question, there is a certain professor called Professor Kotogendo, the late. He wrote a certain book, and it's titled that Constitution Without Constitutionalism. It means that we got the constitution as a country, but we lack the constitutionalism. And the constitutionalism is now the part I'm calling the leadership part of it. That who can implement this constitution? Who can get it right? Because we have the constitution, but there's no constitutionalism. It is a very short book. I'll share it with you, even through soft copy. You have a look at it, and then you get where the problem is. So we don't have democracy. We have a good constitution, but the problem is our leaders. There is no proper people to implement it. There is no constitutionalism in our constitution. Once we get the constitutionalism in the constitution, we are going to go far as a country, because we have the best constitution in the world, not in Africa, in the world. one of the most progressive constitution in the world. So I'll share with that book, and you get the information very well.
Thank you, Miguda. Barak, Africans do not want to resign when the people who gave them the mandate to serve them are not really okay with them. Sometimes from where I see it, I don't feel if I am elected and my term goes for like 5 years, and then along the way, the people says that we don't feel you are now fit for this. I think the best thing I should do is to resign so that someone else should take over. The people of Kenya currently are not happy with the leadership of Kenya Kwanza, the president, the deputy, the members of parliament. We've not seen even one of them resign. In United States of America, if you're accused of a single thing, not even at the point when it is not yet confirmed, what happens is that those people simply steps down. In UK, you know, the reason why the former PM did not get back the seat was because of some few allegations. As much as he was the popular, he was actually one of the best leaders. He didn't get back. And we've seen, you see, the prime minister who came, the one that is called Shurnik, the one that the one who just left the office, found there. She resigned. And remember, she was elected by the majority by then. Along the way, she said that she feels like there's too much expectation from the people and she can't handle that. Nakatoka. Why is it so tough for that? Why is it mbona ni ngumu for Kenya or Africans to do the same? Before you come in, allow me to welcome Pauline Jeru. Pauline Jeru is saying that, what are you guys talking about? Trump has a case in court. All these politicians are same. I don't disagree with you, Pauline. I totally agree with you. But there are several examples that we can give. There are several. Mr. Barak, please come in.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think in Kenya, you say that Raila Odinga resigned when he was having problems with Moi. That is, you need to check your facts. Raila resigned as a member of parliament when he was having problem with Kijana Wamalwa in Ford, Kenya. And he resigned because he was sure he was coming back with a new party. He wanted to be his own boss. So he resigned from his own political party and came back as a leader of NDP. When he was serving as a minister, he resigned towards election because he knew that Kanu was going home. So he resigned together with the likes of Kalonzo, Saitoti, in the run-up to 2002 election. So I cannot give him credit for that because that was obvious that Kanu was going home and Nak was coming to form the government. And when he differed with Kibaki in 2005, Kibaki fired all of them. He did not resign. Anyway, Jaramogi resigned in 1966, and most recently, this Gade resigned as a deputy governor. But those are isolated cases that do not really give us a lot of data to compare with. And the reason why Kenyans leaders don't resign is what I was saying. State power is a tool to acquire resources. So people who have access to state power, they use that as a tool to acquire resources. And since resources are scarce in this society, they don't want to let go of that power. Because once you let it go, even your resources that you acquire using the same power will go because the state will remove that protection that they have upon you. So therefore, that's why Amos Kimunya said in when he was serving as finance minister that he rather die than resign. even though he later resigned because of pressure. But he was brought back again as a minister. So that was neither here nor there. You gave an example of UK. You know, the United Kingdom, the system that is working there is not what we are using here. In the UK, they are using parliamentary system of government. And parliamentary system of government, leadership usually change in the floor or on the floor of the house without an election. You can change the prime minister even 5 times without going for an election. And remember, in UK, they don't have elections like the way we do have here, that it is in the constitution that we know that the second Tuesday of August every 5 years will be going to election. It is not that way in the UK. In the UK, elections are called snap elections, and they are called they can even go for a long time without calling for snap election. Sometimes they call for referendum when the prime minister feel that there's an issue, they need they need like public views. They call for referendum. For example, the Brexit. You remember when David Cameron called for a referendum because of Brexit, and when he lost the referendum, he resigned and he handed over to another prime minister. I think it was someone, Boris Johnson. So my point is, in the United Kingdom, they use parliamentary system. And parliamentary system, you don't have to resign as a as a prime minister, then the country will go to election. In Kenya, because of periodical election that we have in the constitution, it is once people are elected in office, they have to go for 5 years, unless a calamity happens. But you don't elect them, then you expect them to resign. It is not possible. Even America, who has ever resigned in the US, who was elected? Because even in the US, they have periodic election. After every 4 years, they go to election. I don't know. I've not read that we have a president in the US who resigned because of public pressure. In the UK, because they are parliamentary system, you can even have 3 prime ministers in 1 week. You go to the house, you replace a prime minister, because as long as you are the leader of the majority of the party with the majority members in the house, automatically you become the prime minister. The members of that party can replace you as a leader. And once they replace you, you lose that premiership, and another prime minister takes over. So it doesn't work that way in a parliamentary system. Parliamentary system, you elect a party president, they serve their term, they go back to election, general election. It is done that way. And that's why you see in presidential system, you cannot hear that a president resigned because of pressure of the public. He usually should say that you gave me a term, a mandate to serve you. Once my mandate is over, we go back to the polls. It's either you renew my contract or you send me home. And saying that Kenya, we are one of the best democracy, I can assure you we are not, because if you look at Ghana, we have a president who has served 1 term and he was replaced, and he agreed to honor the will of the majority. In Liberia, George Weah just lost election the other day. He did not play monkey games with the electoral system. And remember, in Kenya, we don't have a history of a president accepting to lose after serving 1 term. We don't have that history. And in other African countries, they have that history of a president serving only 1 term, and if they lose election, they go home. You remember even Goodluck Jonathan of Nigeria. He served 1 term after he taking over from Umar Yar'Adua, and when he lost to Muhammad Buhari, he did not play monkey games with the electoral system. He respected the will of the majority and he went home. But in Kenya, even though we brag of being a democracy, but we know our history. No president has served 1 term and agreed that he has lost election and gone home. But in terms of saying that the Ruto should resign or whoever, in a presidential system, it is not easy for a president to resign. Presidents serve for their time because they are elected by the majority, by the universal suffrage votes. So they serve until the end of their term. So they lose election or they go home. Or they serve the second term, then they retire. That's how presidential work. So comparing Kenya with the United Kingdom, it's like comparing a sugar cane with a fruit. That's my take.
Very well, very educative. That was so nice. That is why I like my panelists. They are learned people, people who speak truth which are verified. And that was so nice. I think the next thing that I want to talk about is the governor of Migori County, together with the governor of Kisii County. They were in Migori, right, Mr. Miguda? And while they was together, they were saying that ODM party is not part of those who are making decisions when it comes to the impeachment of the deputy president. Wanatetea ODM, wanasema ya kwamba hiyo ilikuwa kitu ya watu wa Kenya Kwanza, na wao waliletewa na wanafanya vile Wakenya wanataka, na wanasema ya kwamba hata hiyo ingine pia wakiletewa watafanya tu hivyo. That was also confirmed by a member of parliament of Westlands, Tim Wanyonyi, ya kwamba hii imefika kwa sasa watafanya, na ingine tena ikiletwa watafanya, and they're saying they're not taking parts. My question to you, Mr. Migud, I think this is the last one that you'd give, and then maybe we'll close. From where you sit and from what you're seeing, vile unaona watu wa ODM wakibehave within the city, the capital city, in their respective home constituencies, what can you say about the involvement of ODM party in this impeachment process of the deputy president? And maybe what are their interests? Hii chama ya kina Eric Ayaga, hii chama Eric Ayaga ametetea sana, na hii chama ni kama ilifanya Eric akakuwa kwa serikali ile ya kaunti iliyopita ile. Hebu tuambie from where you think. I wish Eric was here to defend himself.
Yeah, that was a correct question to be answered by Eric, but I'll try. Though I'm not a member of ODM, though I'll try. As someone also who has friends from ODM, majority of my friends. That's what we call diversity. That you don't need to dictate for people their political choice. Just leave the people to live according to the provision of the law. We have a political choice. You owe nobody no explanation, no apology for whom your friends are or for which party you associate yourself with. You can associate with whichever party, it doesn't matter. You can associate with ODM, UDA. That is the right we are fighting for. Fundamental freedoms and basic rights. Fundamental freedoms and basic rights does not apply to only Baba. Baba is the only person who's allowed to move around, but even us, it applies to us down here. So the people should not dictate to us that you don't need, you have to belong to ODM. Of course, we will come. If you have a healthy organization, we will join you. For those who have not joined you. But we are Kenyans. That's the most important thing, not ODM, not UDA. To answer your question, I saw Governor Simbarati going to Migori, and he was received with Ochila Yako, his colleague. You know, they are all members of ODM from South Nyanza, the current governors. So the Simbarati was playing to the gallery. That's what I can say, because ODM is the bedroom, the real bedroom. Leave alone issue of Kibra. The real bedroom of ODM is in Migori. That's why you find people like Junet Mohammed, and the relationship between Junet and Raila. Migori and ODM, that's where the bedroom is. For those people who think they know very well where the bedroom is, go to Migori. So I saw them. What they told the audience is that it is the MPs who have impeached Gachagua, not ODM. But them as the party, their position is very clear that once the MPs have impeached Gachagua, they are in support of it as MP. That was the deputy party leader, that they are supporting the impeachment of Gachagua to go home. And Simbarati reiterated that it is ODM which has given William Ruto life. politically because Ruto was sinking. So the way they have given Ruto life, so they say the last regime they gave Uhuru life. Currently they have given Ruto life, so nobody should question them, and that's the good part of being part of ODM. You work to form government. You don't form government. Instead of being in opposition, you join that government. So he was advising young people, particularly they were very particular that the Gen Z, and that was Ochila Yako saying. Ochila Yako is someone I'm known to, so I can speak. We can sort it out, so there's no problem. So Ochila Yako was saying the Gen Zs should join this party because this party they don't work hard to form government, but they found themselves in government. So it means it was like ODM is more of a progressive party. But the point is, it is only progressive when it is benefiting you. It's only progressive because Ochila Yak is a beneficiary of ODM. What about the people who have been subjected with the party? The people who have been punished with the party? The people who have been denied ticket in the day broad light? Is it progressive to those people? So you only speak good for the party because you are a beneficiary of it. And he goes ahead and told the people that he's the governor today and tomorrow. Let the governor change, but let party remain ODM. So he was trying to tell us that let ODM be there for eternity. But the question is, Kenya is a multi-party democracy, and the people of ODM are the people who were loud that we are a multi-party democracy. We don't want single party state. Let it be a multi-party democracy. But they want people to be in ODM. There's no problem. People will be in ODM, but do not make people to think in one circle. Also allow divergent opinion. That is why you have the D in you, democracy, whereby you accept critics, you accept people to have divergent opinion within the party. So they were just like, I think they were playing to the gallery at the same time. They were just preparing the people that, because I already said that in Nyanza, there will be no any party, even if they have joined UDA, it will be ODM in 27. So with them, they're just defending their seats, number one. Number two, it is only progressive because it is benefiting them right now. That's another culture which we are calling out as a country. That is not hygienic in politics. In politics, you must accept critics, you must accept divergent opinion. If you have the people, why are you afraid? If you are a popular, why are you afraid? You should not be afraid if you know that if you believe in yourself, there's no need of fearing any person's idea. Just accept that idea and compete on merit. Then let the best person win. So what they were trying to tell the people is that they don't mind the outcome of elections, but what they know, they must be in government. So the best thing to do, join our party because this party is promising. I think that is what they were trying to do, but it is not good for democracy.
Okay, thank you. Barak, it is your turn. Eric naona anaongea tu huku kwa comment section. He's saying that Uchila Yako must be very careful for Nyamita.
Yeah,
let
me nisaidie Ayaka ku push point yake juu yuko hapa na ameleta point
He's
vizuri.
also saying,
Uchila
he's
yako
also
must be
saying,
very,
he's also,
yeah.
allow me to read this. He's also saying that ODM, Eric is saying that ODM has many sycophants. ODM has lost touch with common man. We saw Bob Njagi, ODM died abducted, ODM said nothing. Okay. Yeah,
I wanted
you can say what you want.
I wanted to air what Eric is saying because he's not here. He could have said it. I agree with Eric, whatever he's saying. I'm happy because Eric is a member of ODM, but he's having a divergent opinion. You know, he's now supporting my point, which I said that Ochila Yako is ODM is only progressive because he's a beneficiary of it. It means he's seeing a threat, Mark Nyamita. So the best thing to do is bring the deputy party leader to come and assist him to tell the people that this is the only progressive party that it is only ODM. Without ODM, you can't be. But I want to challenge Ochila Yako. The same county, it has been led by PDP. Obado was a governor in that country with the PDP party ticket. That's number one. There is a precedent already that that county has been led with the PDP guy. And they worked very effectively. Number two, that county is diverse. There are not only Luos. We have the Kuria West and Kuria East. In Uriri constituency alone, there are Abaloya. In Uriri, the same Uriri, there are Subanese. In Migori town, Suna East, there are Oreas, the Somali people. And that's why the likes of Junet have found themselves being one of the business people in Migori. So Migori is a cosmopolitan county and very diverse. So you should allow that divergent opinion. That's why Ochilo should be aware that the county's leading is divergent, number one. Number two, the same county has been led by a different party from ODM. And remember also, we have MPs from UDA who opposed Raila, Kura East and Kura West, and were elected. And the same Migori is where two members of parliament, immediately after election, Rongo and Uriri, went to State House to meet Ruto. So it is not a walk in the park for Ochila Yako.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barak, you can tell us something about ODM, their position or their take in, especially their position in this impeachment, vis-a-vis the comments that you're seeing from the members of ODM. Uliona the member of parliament from Westlands anasema ya kwamba wao wakiletewa wanafanya, hiyo ni mashida zao, wao wanafanya tu kazi yao kama parliament, na hata wakileta hiyo ingine watafanya tu hivyo. What is your take?
I think just to add on before I start responding, just to add on what Miguda said, even the woman rep for Migori, I think she's not a member of ODM. So I think she was elected independent. So kazi ipo. ODM, I don't blame ODM on the position that they've taken, because I think ODM went for election as Azimio, and people refused to vote for them for Raila to become the president. So they have freedom of association. They can associate with the Ruto, with whoever they want, and they can support, because it is their democratic right. Normally, I usually don't want to interfere with people's democratic rights, because I also want people to respect my right also not to support them. So in this country we have we have in 2007, if you remember, ODM was the party with the majority in the National Assembly. ODM was one of the powerful political parties in this country. In Nairobi alone, ODM won 7 seats out of 8 before the 2010 constitution, when now Nairobi became 17 constituencies. We had 8 constituencies. ODM won 7 parliamentary seats in Nairobi out of 8. They only lost Dagoretti. So that means that ODM was one of the powerful political parties in 2007. But what happened between 2007 and 2020, the 2013 election, is what made ODM to become a shell of its former self. ODM has ensured that if you cannot rise and become a leader, a political leader in Luoland, if you are not a sycophant of Baba, which has been really unfortunate for this country and for this party. ODM has killed so many political careers of people who are promising leaders in this country, simply because they were not in agreement with the ideology of being a choir member or a cheerleader of Baba, which has not been good for the party. You remember that the governors that we've been having in Luoland, they are not governors who are elected to serve the people, but they are people who have been handpicked and imposed on electorate, leaving them with no other option but to have them. For others for 10 years, others for right now for 5 years. If you remember how elections have been conducted in Luo Nyanza, even of governors, I'm concerned with governors because the evolution came so that the development can go to the grassroots, so that you can try to eradicate poverty from the grassroots using good governance as one of the basis of eradicating poverty in our grassroots. Counties who have utilized devolution properly, they have done something to ensure that they uplift the livelihood of the people of those counties. But in our counties, Lowland, we have seen governors who do not even understand their mandate of managing county resources to the betterment of the people of those specific counties. And that is why you see that the poverty level of those 4 counties that form the larger lowland has remained the same, and the effects of devolution is not being felt properly the way it should. And this has not this I really put this at the door of ODM, because ODM has ensured that governors who are elected in Lowland, apart from one term of Obado, because Obado came back to ODM in 2017 and he won his second term as an ODM member, even though he became a rebel within ODM. So at all other counties, we had Cyprian in Homa Bay 2 terms. We had Colonel Rasanga in Siaya 2 terms. And when he left office, Orengo was brought in, no nomination, nothing, direct nomination. And if you know the reason why Ranguma was removed in Kisumu is because he fell out with his deputy, who was the sister to Raila Odinga, Ruto Odinga. And Professor Nyong was brought on board. So you think this ODM has managed election of governors in Lowland so successfully without checking clearly the competence of people who are holding this position. Look at the case of Migori right now. Can you evaluate the performance of Chilo Ayako and look at the role of Eddie Okech as a senator who's supposed to oversight Ayako, of how Ayako is working? What is Eddie Okech doing? Have you ever even heard him raise even a single issue with how Ayako is managing resources of Migori County? Even when Ayako had issues with the Mark Nyamita, did you hear the senator raising an issue with the allegation that Nyamita was raising? And this is because he's afraid that he will lose favor with the party leadership, and that might cost him his seat in 2027. So members of ODM are just concerned on how they can maintain or retain their seats, rather than how they can serve the people who have given them those mandate to serve them. Look at Siaya County. If Orengo and Oburu are given direct nomination, surely, do you want to tell me that Oburu can oversight Orengo as a governor of Siaya County and Oburu being a senator? Or they were just there to collaborate and ensure that they protect their jobs and nobody cares about serving the people of Siaya County? Even Kisumu County, this professor of law, Professor Tom Ojienda, he has been having a lot of romance with the president and UDA, and has forgotten to oversight Kisumu County government led by Professor Nyang' Nyong'o. So you find that we are busy talking about national politics and talking about the other people, and we are forgetting that the party called ODM has put in place people in our counties who have no idea, or they have no clue of what development is. They have no clue of how to uplift the livelihoods of the people who come from these 4 counties. That's why we have remained to be a laughing stock of other counties. Look at what Irungu Kangata is doing in Murang'a County. Look at how they are investing in education in Murang'a County. Look at how they're issuing scholarship to bright and needy students in Murang'a County. Look at what they are doing to health sector in Murang'a County. And we brag that we have produced the most educated citizenry from our counties. What are they doing with that education to ensure that they uplift the livelihood of our people? What are they doing to ensure that they change economic status of our people? Because you cannot be competing with people who have economic resources, who have economic power, and you have none. It is not possible. In the world that we are living in today, your economic status gives you leverage over others. You stand at an advantage position once you are economically empowered. What are these people doing to empower our people economically, to ensure that we raise to the same status as people from other counties that are well developed? These are the questions that I want someone from ODM to answer, because ODM has held the Luo community captive. That is, either you are an ODM or you forget about politics. What are they, because they've succeeded in doing that, what are they doing to ensure that they uplift the lives of people from the Luo community? What are they doing? Nothing about economic empowerment. They are not investing in education. They are not investing in health. What are they doing? From Monday to Sunday, just singing Baba song and being psycho fans of Baba. Is that going to help the people at the grassroots level, or that's going to ensure that they retain their seats when election comes? We must change if we want to develop as a community. We are not going to eat psycho fancy. We must be empowered economically. We must invest in education. We must invest in health center. Our parents cannot be suffering because there are no medicine in hospitals. And we have county governments, governors who are so incompetent holding offices. It's not going to help us to prosper as a society. If we want to compete with other counties, let us benchmark from people who are doing the best, the right things in their counties, and try to borrow and see what can work for us. And we can only do that when we have the right leaders in place. We cannot do that when we continue to have sycophants holding very critical positions that can be used to transform the lives of our people. I rest my case.
That was a good analysis. I'm really taking this opportunity to thank my panelist, Mr. Migoda, Mr. Barak. It was nice hosting you. It was nice hearing from you. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers. Thank you so much for your consistency. Thank you so much, Kisumu Newsline TV. Thank you, Gypsy Corner, Eric Ayaga, Brother Benson mwenyewe is also watching. Pauline Njeru, thank you so much. Uncle Sam, thank you so much. Gitonga, thank you so much. Judith, thank you so much. Brenda, thank you so much. Astariko Ogola, thank you so much. And everyone who joined, we are very much grateful. And thanks for your consistent support. If you're new here, this is Brother Benson Media. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Mr. Migoda, your last remarks as we close?
My last remark, just to add something I was forgetting about the issue of Migori County. You know, Migori County is diverse to an extent. Even their leaders are not the original inhabitant of Migori County. The people are leading them. Even if you look at the MP from Suna West, Masara, is from Suba. Nyamita, you are talking about from Riri, is from Suba. Junet is from Somali community. Ochila Yako, their origin is from Sakwa Bondo. So there is no certainty that you can be a leader in Migori County. They don't mind. So those cards they are trying to play with the people of Migori. Migori is diverse to an extent that you must be very careful as a leader. So let us just allow that diversity, not only in Migori County, but in the entire nation, whereby you accept you can be elected anywhere. It doesn't mean that you must come from this certain region, certain region. You can be elected, provided that you can provide leadership quality. You can display that skill of leadership. You can get opportunity to serve in the national government and the county government, irrespective of your tribe or region. It doesn't matter. Those are old things. We should forget about those things with this progressive constitution. To our viewers, we are very grateful for being with us. It has been a 2 hours talk, and you have been here for 2 hours, and you have been very consistent because the numbers have been very consistent. I was following on other my gadget. So we are very grateful. Thank you for being with us. And also, if you have a different opinion, the link is always below, so you can join and also engage. We said at Brother Benson Media, your opinion counts. You can say anything, doesn't matter, provided that there's no propaganda to war, there's no incitement to violence, and there's no spread of hatred. Just speak anything.
Thank you, Mr. Meguda. Gypsy Corner is saying thanks, Kevin Obura, Meguda, Barak, and my fellow comment section. And not forgetting the whole Brother Benson Media team. Don't forget to like the video on repeat, share, and subscribe too. Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. You are our consistent supporter. We don't take it for granted. And to others who are also supporting us, we are very much grateful. Tunashukuru sana. And we are also telling you that we will try our best to maintain this consistency so that we always have a conversation that is geared at rectifying the problems that we have as a country. Mr. Barak, ambia Wakenya kitu before tuende.
Wakenya wenzetu tuwashukuru sana kwa vile mmekuwa pamoja nasi kwa hiyo muda wote tumeanza mpaka sasa tunakamilisha show yetu ya siku ya leo kama masaa mawili hivi. Tunashukuru kwa vile mmekuwa pamoja nasi karibu kila wakati tunakuja kwa hewani. Tunaomba mzidi kukuwa pamoja nasi kila siku ili tuweze kujenga hii show yetu iweze kuwa na ufuasi mkubwa zaidi. Na tunashukuru kwa maoni yenu pia, na tunasema kwamba maoni yenu yanakubalika na kila mtu maoni yake lazima heshimiwe. Tunashukuru leo na tunaomba tukirudi tena kesho tuzidi kuwa pamoja, tuzidi kuchangia kwa sababu ya ufanisi wa nchi yetu, na tukiwa pamoja tunaweza kusaidiana kuendelea pamoja. Kwa Kiingereza wanasema together we are strong. See you again next time. Thank you so much even to my host and my co-panelist Meguda. Asanteni sana.
Okay, thank you so much, brother. Barak. To our viewers, my name is Kevin Obura. You can call me Mark Obura. Na tumeshukuru sana. Oh, okay. Gypsy Corner anasema ya kwamba hii Kiswahili changu I think I'm improving. Okay. So umesema kesho itakuwa Kiswahili. Ni sawa. I'm going to train over maybe tomorrow early morning I'll wake up for that. It's so unfortunate that mimi peke yangu ndo siwezi zungumza Kiswahili sanifu consistently. Barak here sijui ni mwalimu wa Kiswahili kwa sababu kuna siku nilisikia akizungumza kwa Kiswahili ile consistent mpaka nikajiuliza kwani mimi niko ichi gani? Lakini ni sawa. Tumeshukuru sana. Thanks for your support. Na tunasema have a blessed night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening until tomorrow. Thank you and bye bye.